This first live YouTube didn't work well, right? Didn't go well. So let's start. It's recording. Let's go. Sorry about that. The whole messed up in the thing. We'll just go in order, alphabetical order, and I'll skip those that we don't look at, right? So dollar index. Let's start with the dollar index. Dollar index still in the downtrend as we expected, but at some point this will start to correct. So for this week, I want you guys, last week, if we looked at it, I'll go in the 4 hours. So you can see in the 4 hour last week, remember we said these patterns have possibility of making 5 waves. So you were buying it until it comes to the top. And when it gets to the top, you be careful. You want to exit the trade because at some point it's going to go down. So if you look at this, there's a good chance this could continue to go down here. From this point, they could go back up. We're expecting a deeper correction, but it's not started as yet. What you would have to watch for is this level. You would want to enter the trade only after you get a correction up before you go down. So in the euro, we'll go to euro dollar. Start with euro dollar. You have a very similar pattern. It's an uptrend. This is your daily uptrend. You have 1, 2, 3. Remember we said breaking that top does not really means that this is the impulse going up. It could be part of a bigger correction. So as it stands right now, 2 things we would look for. If it's making a running flat, for those of you who understand what that, if it's making a running flat, what you're going to have is you're going to have this breaking the top slightly, not breaking the low and go back straight up. One more impulse up. The impulse to the upside this time is going to be very short-lived, which means you're not going to have a very big impulse. You're going to have a very short impulse. So if you're going to get in the buy, when it breaks the top again, you start moving your stops and following it. So what you're going to look for here at this point, you want to see this thing correct, make a flag, make a corrective structure like this. Then you would look for that trade out. In the case that Monday they open with any gap below this, if they open below this, you look for a buy setup. If they open right here and they start to make a flag for the downside like this, we will retest the low and very likely still go back up. That means you're going to get an expanding flat. So this corrective structure may not be over, which means there still is a possibility for at least one more down, one more impulse down. And that will depend on how this structure develops here in the 1 hour. So if I'm looking at this on the 1 hour, I think there's a possibility that this 1 hour flag here could go more down. So if you get this sell, once they break this low and they break the previous 4 hour low there, you're starting to look for upside. That would be the reversal. There is still one more impulse in this thing to the upside. This is not the start of the downside. Right? So first you can expect this to come down some more, maybe retest these lows, and then starting that upside. Or they just go sideways like this and continue to go up. Either way, you start looking for a buy setup. Short term, if you get the short term sell on the 1 hour, which means if it doesn't gap, but it make the correction and then go down, it's not a bad sell. You'll probably get about 60 pips out of it. If you get a sell setup from there to go down, you'll probably get about, you could get about 100 pips out of that. So you could take the sell setup for the downside. For all the euro trades, we'll go through all the euro trades we watch, and then we look at that. So euro Aus. Same, very similar setup here. You got to move up, a move down. We're looking for a move up. Likely is going to break that top. It doesn't necessarily have to break the top, but I think there's a likely chance they can break this top, and then we're going to expect more downside, right? So on a bigger picture, this is the pattern we're looking at. We're looking at one down here, one up there, and one more down there. You see that? You got a 1, 2, 3. If you look at this one, you have 1, 2, 3 here. You got 1, 2, 3 here. You're getting 1. They're going to make 2 here, and then you're going to look for that 3. So if you're taking any buys in here, be very careful. This buy will probably be short-lived. It's probably going to get about here and then they're going to go down. So what you're going to look for this week is a sell setup once it makes a little spike up. There's a good chance it's going to make a spike up and then you're going to get a sell setup. Look for a sell setup. If this thing is going to go up from where it is right now, it's not going to be a very big move because you're still in the bigger correction and it's not completed. EuroCAD. EuroCAD broke the low here. We're still in this very, very big correction. Let me put it probably in a daily. That would be better. And the daily, you can see we're still in this very, very big correction here. 1, 2, 3. I don't think this is over. I think there's a possibility this could come some more here. And then we can start to look for the upside. So if you go back to the 4 hours, now that you've seen the pattern we're looking at, if you go back to the 4 hour, they're consolidating, right? This piece made a sharp move up, but it's more of a consolidation here. So there's a good chance you might get one more down here before you go up. If they're going to go up from there after breaking the low, which is what we always expect them to do before their turn, on the 1 hour, you will get a buy setup here. And if they make that flag, well, you can buy because you might not get the one more down. The one more down will be confirmed only if they break this structure. So most likely, you have to wait for about 10 hours, wait for the setup, see which one they give you. They give you a flag for the upside, you buy. They get a sharp move down, make a small flag, you sell. Either way, you're going to have a very big trade. The one to the upside is a very long-term trade, which means they're going to go back. Let me go back to the daily so you can see. If you get the buy setup, you want to take it and hold it because the buy setup is a long-term trade. You have an impulse, you got a correction, you could probably start going back up. The sell setup is a shorter-term trade. They may just come to about the 270 and start going back up. So if you get a sell setup, you actually don't hold it for long. You take profit. Euro Chief. You're looking for a sell setup on this one. I think last week we showed it. The week before I showed it. You're looking for a sell setup here. So let's go into the 1 hour and look for that trade, or 4 hour. 4 hours, for example. You're actually getting a nice flag in the making. I think you can see it, right? You got a nice flag there. It's already breaking. So if you are in this trade, most of us in our group are already in the trade. If you're not in the trade, you can look for a trade back to this level. When they come here, you put that trade to break even, because there's a good chance they can go one more. The bigger picture is still downside. That would not change the bigger trade to the downside. It's just going to make this trade a break-even trade, but then you look for another sell setup again. The buy to the upside, I'm not very keen on the buy. I wasn't keen on this buy here, although we saw it, and I don't think I'll be very keen on this buy, because the bigger picture is still to the downside. This structurally is showing you a big trade to the downside, so you don't want to miss this. You keep the trade, because if they break the trend to the downside, it's going to be a big trade, which means you'll be coming down all the way to this level. Breaking these lows somewhere in here before they go back up, if they will go back up. Because on the very big picture, they could go down. So you want the big picture to the downside. That's a couple hundred pips trades. Probably 20 to 1 if you get it right, somewhere here, 300 pips trade. If you get the trade right, you probably get about 15 to 1, 20 to 1, depends on where you enter, where your stop is. The worst case scenario, you will get 10 to 1. If you get it wrong, you get a break-even trade. Nothing is wrong with that, right? Take the break-even, look for another sell setup. Can they break that top? Sure they can. There are corrective structures that will break the top many times if you're looking for an expansion, right? Not that I think this one will go break the top, but if it goes, no big deal, right? You're not trying to look for buy setups when you're in a top in a structure that looks like this. Europong. See, I can say I told you it's going to go down, right? How many of you not in this trade? Come on, we have 152 people. How many of you? I don't want to see a lot of N's. Write an N if you're not in this trade. And I've been warning you about this for a long time, right? This thing is going to go crazy. You want to get a trade, you want to hold it, you want to stay in it, right? Don't worry, you'll still get it. We'll still get more of this. So let's go back to the daily. And let's make sure we remember what we were saying. Watch this impulse. Watch another impulse up, a correction and an impulse. Together, that is a big corrective structure. And remember what I said, even if they break the top, that does not negate the downside because this is a big expanding or running flat, right? Well, that's the problem, Mohammed. Mohammed raised one of the biggest questions all traders have. Got tired of waiting for the trade. That's the biggest problem I realize with most of my traders also. Impatience. Traders get impatient. They want to trade in the 15-minute. You don't make money in the 15-minute. I've stopped some of my traders even from trading in the 15 minutes. And I've stopped some traders that I don't know who actually call me. They're not in my group, who called me and said they need help. And I said, stop trading in the 15 minutes because you have no idea what you're doing, right? So you see, if you were trying to catch the up move, you probably would have got a little bit. Nothing is wrong with that. But look at this. This is the move you want. And if we're lucky, that thing might not even stop. As if we're lucky. I don't believe in luck. I believe in watching the structure. So for all of you who are not in the trade, at some point this will correct. You notice they had a correction there, right? At some point it is going to make that deep correction. And that would be your final chance of getting this trade. And I'm warning you now, don't miss that one. If you miss the first part, I'm in that one, right? I'm not missing it. And I'm not going to miss the second part of it either, which means I'm going to be adding more trades on as we go. So it will pull back, just so that you can see it will pull back. Now let's go to the one or see if the pullback is in progress. Good. That pullback is not in progress. I remember I told you guys this was a sell setup. This one was not so much of a sell setup because it's too short and I don't think you'll take it. The same thing here, but this one here is going to start to pull back. So if you get a pullback here in a 1 hour and it starts to break, take the trade. Right? There will be a deeper pullback at some point, but we don't know when that is going to happen. So every time you get a flag here that gives you a sell setup, take the trade. Right? Don't miss this trade. It's going to go. Good. We spoke about it very often. Euro yen. Euro yen making a higher high. Not that we didn't expect it to make the higher high. We just don't know how high that one will go. Now, this is the trade. If you've missed all the trades you're missing so far that are giving you big trades, look for a sell setup. That's a big trade. And that one is coming. Right? There's enough reasons in this chart to say this one is coming. Now, you may say, but it's going up. Traders keep telling me that's not going up. Right? Going up was this one. Remember when I said watch this trade for a buy? That was going up. This was going up. This one was going up. This thing is not going up. This thing is pulsing its way here for a fall. It's getting ready for a fall. Might look like it's making big moves to the upside. You can see the divergence in the charts. So let's go to the 4 hour. 4 hours, there was a buy setup here for a short-term trade. If you're trading short-term, remember this was your buy setup. If you took that, would have been a break-even trade. If you take this one gives you a trade. It's going to be a break-even trade. Take the profit out. Can this thing go up some more? Yep, it can come back here, and it can go one more like that. Actually, I wanted to go one more up. If you understand structure and you see where I'm coming from, if that thing goes up one more, I'm picking the top of it. Well, when I say I did it, that doesn't mean you should go do that. You don't have the experience to do that as yet. And you don't know what I'll be looking for to do that, right? But if that thing pulls back and go one more up, I'll be very happy because I can literally see how much I can get out of it. This is going to be, you miss the euro. If you miss the euro pong, don't miss this trade. Right? Don't miss this trade because this is going to give you a big trade. Remember, I'm showing you direction that is going to come long term. Not the direction is going to happen only this week. This week, it's probably going to pull back. I think this week you can look for some pullback here, and I wouldn't be surprised. You get some pullback like this. That may take a whole week even, and then you may get one more impulse. Not necessarily that you're going to get that one more impulse, but it's possible, which means you start looking for sell setups. Right? If you're looking for a sell setup and that thing spike up one more, don't worry. Let it go, right? Because by all analysis, it's not going to go very far. And if I'm wrong about it, well, so be it. I can be wrong about some trades. I don't care. I'm not in the trade, and I do. You know, people will say, hey, well, it spiked up. So what? I'm not in the trade. That's all. I didn't lose money in it because the higher probability trade for me is to the downside. And if that goes to the downside, like the Europong, I wasn't in the buy in the Europong as it was going up, but I'm in the sell because I can see the speed with which the sell is going to the right direction, right? That is what you got to do. You got to look for the longer term trade setups, and you don't chase every little bit piece of the chart. And not that I didn't see the pound Euro pound going up a lot of times. So like I saw this trade today, but last week, but I wasn't interested in it. I'm interested in the one that's going to give you big profit, right? When you start think like that and trade like that, you see different results. You're in New Zealand. Good. This one also, we spoke about the correction that it will make, and it's making a correction. You can actually see that. We're coming down as a correction here. This one is going to come down more. You can actually see that. And then we'll probably get more upside. Right? Very likely we're going to get more upside on this one. That might not be there. Now, how far would this correction go? Go back to the 4 hour. You're getting a sell setup on it. See that? Go into 1 hour. You're getting a sell setup. When you take these sell setup, just be aware that you're making a corrective impulse, which means two things. One, it doesn't go very fast. And the second one, it doesn't have to go very far. When you're in corrective structures, breaking this low is enough to confirm that that structure is over. That's not where the structure will over, but that's enough to confirm that the structure is formed. How far low it could go? This thing could go very far, but that would confirm the structure. Just breaking was confirmed. So what you're doing is you're looking for more downside. As you can see, they're not moving. This is not the Euro pound going down, right? This is going down very slow, which means this is telling you that they're making corrections. We're in a corrective structure. Eventually, it's going to go back up, but you have a sell set up right now. So look for a sell in here. Let's see what else. We don't do the rest of those. So let's go to the pound. I'll start with the pound dollar, and then we'll do the rest. So let's go pound dollar. Pound dollar made a very big spike up. Something was a surprise because I didn't expect they would go break the top. We saw that possibility, but they actually broke more of that, right? They broke the top there. That means we're starting to relook at the structure to see which part of it would be the corrective structure. And there was a chance that this is either making 5 waves up or 3 waves up. We will go with 3 waves. But think this as the corrective structure. Those structures are very hard to identify while they're forming because running flats and expanding flats are very hard to form, to recognize while they're happening, right? So in this case, it's making that. Has that changed the structure, right? There was a buy setup for us when we traded. Some of us traded in news and some of our traders took the buy to the upside. Well, they would have taken profit out because we didn't think it's going to go long-term up. I don't think this is going long-term up, which means if it is going to go up more, I would not buy it here. I'll wait for them to pull back. And I mean really pull back to about this level before I'll be interested in a buy, if I see a buy setup, right? Only then I'll be interested in buy. Otherwise, that there's a good chance that this is the top and you're going down, right? Now, we don't know that. That will take us about a week to know whether it's turning. But if it is turning, it is going to go, right? So put this on the daily, and we are on the daily. On the daily, you can see that this is just a big correction in the biggest structure, right? And it's not like they've never spiked up before they fall, right? It's not like they've never spiked it up very high before they come down. So don't be surprised that they spike that up and then come down. This is pretty much going flat. These are impulsive moves, right? You can see that. So I still think as it stands right now, we are likely going to have one more downside that will break this low before we get any turn to the upside. There is a very big turn to the upside coming in the pound, a yearly trend that will start to the upside. I don't think this is the start of the yearly trend, right? So watch this. If you were looking for a sell in this, like I were looking for a sell, you should not be in the sell, right? Because if you were looking for a sell, there was only one place they tag us. I'll show you where they tag us, and we took a loss on this. was when they broke this one here. If you were trying to sell that, you should either get out here or you should get out here. It doesn't matter where you get out. That should have been a 1% loss on your account. Right? When we will say this is the start of the uptrend, when I have a daily correction. If this is going up the way it's going up as a daily impulse, it has to make 5-wave, confirm the 5-wave, make a deeper correction in the daily, and then I'll say, okay, we are actually going up on a daily structure. So right now, if this is making an impulse, you're at the top of the impulse. What happens when you get to the top of the impulse? It starts to correct. So if you're jumping onto the candle at the very top without understanding how structure behave, you're going to get yourself in trouble. So this one was a loss. That's okay. You shouldn't be worried about 1 or 2 losses that you will get. You will get a lot of them. Even if you get like 40% losses, not a big deal as long as your winners are running very far, right? But with a good strategy, you're not even going to get that much lost, right? So watch this trade. This one, you don't want to buy this. Even if they open and they start to go up, you don't want to buy it, right? There's no reason to buy at the top. That's the recipe for disaster, buying at the top. Wait for it to pull back and then we'll buy. Is it going to start to go down? I wouldn't be surprised if they start to go down. Do you have a sell set up at the top there? Well, that will depend on your ability to handle risk and your experience. Right? But if they give us a sell setup, for those of most of you who would want, you'd want this to actually pull back first, make a flag, and then go for the sell. Big newest news. Well, we will see. Maybe the big news will move the market, but it's just a time that they use to move the market. It's not exactly what the market is doing, right? It's not the news. The market is not going where the news is putting it. The market is just a trigger the news is just a trigger for the market to move. Right? The market still does what it's going to do, which is what they've prepared for the market to do. Right? Those moves are way in advance prepared before you can know it. So let's go to the Pong crosses, Pong Oz. Pong Oz was going up to some extent, and if you'd seen that, I didn't think the correction was going to get that big. I was looking for downside correction more. Right, we were looking for this to actually go down more rather than going up. But if you look at it daily, there's a good chance this one could go up more, right, to this point. So if you look at this, we did see this structure. I think you'd remember we said there's a possibility for one more, but then it started to consolidate here, and I didn't think they were going to go. Well, now they took off. So that consolidation was actually for the upside. So if you're going to buy this and it's going to come to retest this stop, which is likely going to do, wait for them to pull back. You notice they pull back here, they consolidate there, they consolidate here, they consolidate there, and we were buying all of that to the upside. There's a possibility for a 5th wave here. This didn't give us an early start. We were expecting the upside, but it didn't go well in the start. If you look at the internal structure, this piece at the bottom, you would see that this one, it was actually looking like it's going to go down first. Well, in reality, they did make a low here. This comes a very big correction at the bottom, which is not typical when they're going to trend. And then they took off. So wait for them to pull back and then start trading it to the upside. Right? Let them pull back. If they're going to continue to go up, they have to prove to us they're going to go up by making the pullback, making the correction, and then we'll all buy. Right? So let's wait and see. Punkad? Okay, Punkad also could go up. We had 1 through 3, and that did turn out not to be all the correction, so they're making a bigger correction here. And if this is going to go back up for 1 more to this level, if they're going to go back, that is how far they should go, right? This is a sharp move up. So when they make a sharp move up, you see what they do, they consolidate. When they make a sharp move up, they have to consolidate if they're going to continue to go. So you don't have a trade here for the next 2 weeks, or at least a week. If they consolidate for a week like they did here, you can start buying that to the upside. They will come to retest this stop. If they're going to reverse, they're going to do something like this, something like that, and then go down. So when would you have a trade here? Not so early. You would have to wait a couple days before you actually get a very good trade setup. Punk Chief? All the punk pairs move. This one retest the top. It's still a consolidation, right? This is still a consolidation. They break the top. We would look for reversal points here. Can that actually go up more? Sure, it could. There's nothing that will stop it from going up more. Let's look at a bigger picture where you'll see, right? Nothing can stop up from spiking up a little more, maybe even like this before they start to fall. But see, this one made a sharp move, correction. See how high that spiked before it come? Nothing says this. Look at this one. This is what we're doing here. The bigger picture is downside. Do you have a buy this week to the upside? No, you don't. Right, so let's go into 1 hour and see if we get a buy. I would not take a buy here, but if they do come back like this, here, then you can look for one more impulse up. Take your profit. Every impulse that is a buy to the upside, it's short term, you take profit. If you start to get sell setups after they broke the top, if you get a sharp impulse to the downside, which means we want to see them do this week and start to do that, then we will take the sell. We will sell this every time. And if you remember, I'm making money in this. This is like about a third or fourth sell I'm going to get this time because I'm looking for a sell setup. Let me bring it back to the 4 and refresh your memory where we were selling it. So you'll understand how we do these structures. Eventually, we're looking for a very big move to the downside. It just isn't happening yet. So I think the first sell we took on this one was somewhere in this, the breakout here or something like that. Somewhere in here, we took a sell, somewhere at the top there. That one came back and I closed this one here. I took one somewhere else where I got a break even trade and gave up a lot of pips in it. Nope, sorry. The first sell was here, somewhere in here. We took profit off this one here. And then the next sell was there. And that one turns out to be a break even one because I thought this was going to go. So I just put it to break even and leave it. We sold at the top there again. And this one was in profit, right? So we're going to look to sell this one here again from the top. When this went up, I gave up a lot there, but then I got it back from the top, right? That one got closed somewhere in here. Same here. Same thing we'd look for. You would look for the same kind of setups there. You'd look for the same kind of setups here, and we'd look for a sell. Not interested in the buy. The bigger picture is telling you there will be a big fall here. So you prepare for the big fall. And if you get it in the right time and you go, luck is going to be on your side, right? This could have been a big buy, but I didn't expect them to go that much up. But let them go. We waiting for the setup for the sell then. Peng Yen broke out of the triangular pattern. Turns out it's not a triangle. It's just a contracting flat, right? Right. This part just turns out to be a contracting flat. Now, I notice a lot of Elliott waivers are looking at this whole, I saw a few on Facebook and places that are looking at this as a big triangle. I don't think this is a big triangle. They're looking at this whole pattern here as a big triangle. The way I look at structure, it's not a triangle, period. We don't see that as a triangle. There is no way that thing looks like a triangle does. Now, you can put it as a triangle if you want, maybe. It did break the top, but that means you would look for this to continue to go up if you think it's a triangle. There's a good chance, I think, this made a 1, 2, 3, and it could be a bigger B wave structure. So if you see reversal points coming, sell it back to this level. If we see any sign that it's going to reverse this week, I'll try to see if I can post a chart for that for you somewhere, probably do another webinar during the week. If you see a reversal sign, there will be a good chance that this could come back. If it is going to continue to go, you don't want to buy it there. You want to wait for them to pull back, give you a good flag here. Like all the Peng pairs, the bigger direction is to the downside. All of them. The bigger direction, the daily, the weekly trend is still one more impulse to the downside. Now, each one may go differently because there's another currency on the other side of it, right? But the Peng is the leading one. If this is going to go up one more, just like the Peng, you probably wait for a pullback and then go. If the Peng starts to fall, It could be a pong movement and you may see them all go down, right? You may see them all go down. So be careful with this. Let's go. Pong New Zealand. Okay, this is also a very deep pullback, right? This was a nice one that broke, was going very good, and then started to pull back deep, which means we would look for a more complex pattern. Looks like they can come back one more up here, break this top even before they go. So if you're going to get more buys in this, same, wait for it to pull back. Remember, they always pull back before they go. Wait for a little pullback here and then start buying. Wait for that corrective structure. Don't try to buy when you're at the top of an impulse. Wait for the impulse to pull back and then go. Oh, this is Norwegian one, right? Sorry. It doesn't matter. The same structure. Just look at it. This is a New Zealand one. Let's go. It will have a very similar structure. You just wait for the pullback, all of them. Pong, right? Wait for the pullback if you're going to get. This will probably go break this top too. All of them are looking for one more impulse up. Wait for a pullback here. Go, and then the bigger picture is downside. The bigger picture will be to the downside. So if you get one more impulse up here, that is possible in all of them. One more short impulse to break. Those that haven't broken the top as yet might complete that top there. Break of the top and then start to fall, because you're going to complete 1, 2, 3. And that will give you the move to the downside. So keep your eyes on this. The bigger picture is still downside. All the punk pairs, every single one of them. I'm going to pull this line here just so you can have an idea. This is your impulse, and this is going flat. That means even if they come break the top, which I think they will do, you're looking for that trade down. All the punk pairs, it doesn't matter which punk chart you're looking at, they all have that similar feature. So keep your eyes on the punk dollar and all the punk pairs for that. Right? They're going to be very nice moves on them coming very soon. Let's go to the Aussie charts. We'll do all the majors and their pairs as we go. Aussie USD. We are at the top. We're consolidating, coming back. I think there's a deeper correction coming. Put it in this one here. 1 hour. This one is coming back here already. You probably can get a sell setup here already by tomorrow morning. You can get a sell setup that will go down, and they're likely going to break this structure, because we're looking at this as an expanding flat in the making. You got 1, you have 2, and we're looking for a third one. Minimum, they should break this low, but I think they will go lower. So let's see how low they go, right? But at least you're looking for a break of that low. No buys. There isn't any buy in this until you actually break this structure. So they will have to come here, break that structure, make flag, and then buy. You're not going to get it by until the end of the week. So I'm not looking for a buy setup here. Can this thing take off to the upside? Well, maybe, but it's going to take off without me because the structure is not showing me that takeoff, right? If you think it's going to take off on any news event, you probably use an entry order, because that's the only way you can get in. If you use an entry order, structurally, there isn't a buy setup here. And I'm not looking for, and I'm looking for the sell. You can see they're breaking this structure here. That's your trade. We're going to go with the Aussie. Euro Oz, we finished. Pong Oz, we finished. Let's go with Aussie CAD. Aussie CAD is making a very, very complex corrective structure here. Let me just show you. You got 1 up. You're getting something like this here, more for the downside. And looks like they're going to crawl their way up back to the top here. See that? So while it is looking like it's making a corrective structure here at the moment, I think they're going to push up slowly like this and then come down. We'll have a much bigger corrective structure in the play here. So what you can do is pull a trend line like this, probably all the way to this level. Yeah. And don't Don't sell unless they're under here with a flag. Don't look for sells. The buy setups might be difficult to get because they really don't have a buy setup here. It's moving up, but it's moving up in a kind of, you can see, right? You really don't want to buy into that. So the best thing might be to stay out of that. Just like the Aussie Swiss. Don't trade those charts that don't have very great setups. Aussie Swiss is coming down back. You've got 1, 2, 3, and we are getting downside. Right? So if they make a flag here, you sell. If they make a flag, you sell. Wait for a flag and sell. You can probably look for any flag on the 1 hour and sell. I'm putting it in the 4 hour so you can see the structure, right? 4 hour, this is what it looks like. 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You get 1, you probably get a 2 here, and then you get a 3 down there. So you're still in this bigger impulse. So any 1 hour flag you get, you can sell, right? Any 1 hour flag you get in. If the I miss which one you're asking for triangle. Keep the question to the end. Just remember which chart you wanted to ask a question in, and when we close the recording, we'll go look at them. Right? We'll have more time for that. Aussie, New Zealand. We'll do the Aussie yen just now. Finally may have started that down move, right? So remember this structure, what we said. This piece in the middle becomes a bigger correction, right? This whole piece here, it wasn't the impulse. We were expecting a big impulse to the upside. And when it started here, we thought we got it. It's going to go. They pull back, and we said this is the one that is going to go. Once they pull back like this, that changed the structure. Once the yen, I'll do it just now. Once they pull back like that, they actually change that structure. So immediately we read the structure this way: 1, 2, and I think this will come back to retest the low. It's not going to come as a straight line. This one did not come down as a straight line. That one did not go up as a straight line. It's not going to come down as a straight line, which means it's going to be very messy to trade. But you can trade it. If you have the skill level, look for every flag you see going down and sell it, right? Wait for every flag you see here, sell it, take profit. Don't keep it for long term because they can start to make deep pullback and then go. So don't keep the sell to the downside is not a long-term trade, but once they start to go back up, that buy becomes a long-term trade. Now, in very, very rare cases, not that I'm expecting it to happen, I'd be glad if it happened, but now that I'm expecting it to happen, very rare cases, they can go down very fast. A news event or something coming. Once they made that drop to this level, start looking for buy opportunities. Now, if they drop there before the 27th, that would be good for me. If not, I'll have to wait to see what to do. Aussie yen. You're looking for downside. They keep pulsing this up. There was a small buy here. You wouldn't probably have got a trade. But we've got 1. We have 2, which means you can look for this to come back here. Right? So Aussie New Zealand is looking downside. Aussie yen is looking downside. Let me remind you what Aussie euro, what the euro Oz and the pound Oz looks like. Euro Oz is looking a little upside before it comes down, and pound Oz should look a little upside. So pound Oz is in this big structure, and it's looking a little upside. That means watch the Aussie dollar to go down. It's Aussie that will drive this. So any pullback here you buy, any pullback on the yen you sell, Aussie yen, right? Because they're showing you that Aussie is likely going to go down. Which means if Aussie is going to go down and Aussie yen, Aussie New Zealand has to go down, you're going to focus on the New Zealand going up. So let's look at New Zealand. After Aussie, I'll do New Zealand. Let me get all the New Zealand pairs. New Zealand dollar. Come on, what's taking it so long yet? As you can see, this is a clear buy setup. Some of our traders got in early. This is a clear buy setup to the upside. You've got 1, 2, you're getting 3. They're going to come to about this level, and then they're likely going to go back down, right? So what you're looking for this week at least is a buy setup on the New Zealand dollar. Any flag you get here now, you buy. They'll make a flag here, you buy, because this could come up all the way to there. Whether they're going to break the top, we don't know, but very likely upside. And with the upside on the New Zealand and the downside in the Aussie would be a good trade in the Aussie New Zealand. If you get that, right? That'd be a very good trade. I'm doing the majors in order, the way we do it. So I've done the Euro, the Pound, Aussie. We look at New Zealand, and we look at CAD, Yen, Swiss, and then we do gold, silver, and then we'll, if we have time, we'll do some more. Okay? If we have time, we'll do some more. So look at this. As we go, these crosses are less as we go down. So don't worry, we'll get there very fast. So watch for upside on this one. This is easy. New Zealand Yen. It's a little slow in the opening, right? Come on. So New Zealand, and if you remember, I was showing you this structure and said, when you see these structure starts to do this, you're not interested in the sell, you're interested in the buy. I don't know how many of you got the buy. If they make a flag, buy. Right? If they make a flag, buy, because you're getting some upside right now. New Zealand, Swiss. This one has a very, very big correction at the top here. I would allow them to break out, make a flag, and then start trading it up. To the downside, they could come back here, but I don't think you want to sell it. Right? This might not give you a good sell. Wait for that breakout to the top, because this is a big consolidation that looks like it's going to go up. Within this consolidation, there's a chance they can come back here. If you get that trade, it will have to be very fast. In and out, take profit. Right? But the bigger trade is to the upside, as you can see, right? They got like a triangular looking correction. It's going to go up. I don't think it's a triangle. We'll have to look at it. But once they make patterns like that, you look for the upside. New Zealand CAD. See, New Zealand only has a few of them that we look at. New Zealand CAD is correcting to the upside, and that's a correction, because at some point this is going to break. So can we look for trade setups to the downside already? I think you might not get it as yet. Still possibility that they make corrections here and go one more up, but once they start to go down, breaking this structure here would be a good sell, because it's correcting to the upside, which means after that they'll be going down, right? Buy at the top there might be a bad idea, but if they come back like this, you can take a buy again, because the correction could go higher, right? So you can buy again if they come back. Okay, we've got the New Zealand covered. Let's see. While we're at the bottom here, let's do CAD and Swiss. USD CAD, USD Swiss. So I will get some kind of order. The crosses on these we've already done, so I just need to do the majors in them. Put it in the 4 hour. Good. So they broke the low twice. They're going up. They're pulling back. Look for upside. I don't see this one as going down as yet, but if they don't go to break the top, which would be a contracting flat, we're not looking for a contracting flat as yet. But if it's making a contracting flat, what they will do is they'll probably go sideways here, and then you'll get a trade. Most likely, you'll be looking for the buy setup. I wouldn't be selling it until they break the low, right? Then you'll have more confidence in the sell, right? But as long as they're within the structure, within the sideways move, look for the buy. CAD. I think this one is easy, right? They'll probably go up some more here, and then you start looking for the sell, right? They're just correcting to the upside. Just watch what this did. They're doing exactly that here. Let it go up. Don't worry with the upside. Let the upside go. When it's finished, don't miss the sell, right? Look for the sell to the downside. I think it's a very short trade to the upside. I would really not, I'd really not encourage you to do it. But if you're very aggressive, let it make some corrections here. You got a trade to the top there, and this one might give you a very nice short trade Monday morning. Take profit and then start looking for the downside. Yen, let's see the US yen. We finished all the yen pairs too, so we just do the dollar yen now. Upside, more upside. This one is more upside because we're making deeper corrections. So it's making some corrections here right now. They may come back a little like this, but it's upside. Look for buy setups. Only buy setups on this one, right? So CAD yen and Swiss yen, we can do those two when we come to the top here. Let's do the CAD yen and the Swiss yen. Let's see what it looks like in the daily. You're looking for a sell setup, 4 hour. Let them break. Don't try to get the buy there now. Let them break the structure, wait for a flag, and then sell it because they're going to break out of this structure. Once they start the down move, they're going to break out of that structure, right? So watch for the sell setup here. Watch for this sell setup this week. If they make that sell setup, don't miss this trade. They will break this structure here. So you're going to have a longer term trade to the downside, right? Whether it's because of the CAD or the yen, no need to figure out that. We'll figure it out while it's happening, right? But watch for that trade. Can they pulse to the upside more? I think they can, but you probably wouldn't get good sells. You notice it's not going up very smooth, right? Every time they go up, they pull back deep. Let me just go back to it for a second so you guys could see it. Yes, every time they go up, they pull back deep. They go up, they pull back deep. This was the only one that didn't pull back so deep, but right now this one will pull back deep. So you probably don't want to get into that for the upside. Swiss yen. We don't trade this so often, but you had a nice buy there, actually. A contracting flag. Actually, it's this piece only, but I just pull it from the top so you can see. If they make another flag here, buy. Eventually, when they do all of this, you'll have a trend going up. Right? You'll have a corrective trend going up, which means the move to the upside is a correction. Right? So if they make a flag here, you buy. Make a flag, you buy, and then eventually they're going to come down. Because they're not going to break that top. Not expecting them to break that up. This is a corrective move to the upside, right? That means let me just pull a trend line for you. Only when they start to break that trend line, we would look for sell setups. Right now, you're looking for short-term buys. They pull back, you get a trade, you take profit. They pull back, you get a trade, you take profit, and then look for the sell. Okay, we completed the yen pairs. Let's go see what else we're going to look at. Everybody want gold and silver. Let's see where gold and silver is. Let's go get them. Silver correcting. I warned about that. So you wanted to move your stop and get out because it's correcting. Right now, it's still correcting, right? So this would still be, watch it when it comes here. It's not going down very fast. And that means if they don't break the trend line, you look for buy setups. Right? If this lower trend line is not broken, not because of the trend line, but when they break the trend line, we'll be anticipating a deeper correction. Right? So at this point, you would look for a buy setup. Don't try to buy here. Buy when they break out. Buy this breakout if you get it. Put an entry order. If it breaks through the downside, wait for a pullback, and then we can sell this. Sell is short term. It's not the fact that they'll come back that low. Right? I don't think they'll go back that low. We're still expecting them to go some more up. Right? This could still go some more up. So this would be treated as a correction for upside, correction for upside, correction for upside. Every time you get a correction, If and when they break this trend line here, we wait for flags and then we go for deeper correction before they go back up. Right? Deeper correction possible, not necessarily going to be this one. Right? You're not being the buy, right? If they break the trend line, you'll not be in the buy. And you're not trying to sell it while you're in an uptrend. So we'll wait for that to happen. You wait for either trend line to break before you get a trade, for the buy and for the sell. This is euro. Let's go with this XAU USD. Same thing. Gold is correcting. That downside was expected. Remember, I said if it breaks the trend line, wait for a flag before you buy. Same here. If you'll want this to come, break the trend line, wait for a flag before you buy. Don't buy just because it broke the trend line. Wait for the flag here in this case, and then we'll see. Not expecting them to break this low. If they do, wait for a correction before you sell. Right? Let's see what else we have here. You guys don't do all of that. So we'll go back to the top. We want oil. Let's look at US oil, UK oil. We'll just look at US oil. UK oil is the same thing. Put it in the daily so you have an idea what we're looking at. So the daily, we had this move down and we are making a move up. So the question would be now, is this the correction? Is that all the correction and we are going up if you look at the bigger picture? Right? If you look at the bigger picture, is that some kind of a very weird looking running flat? If that is the case, this would go back up. Right? That is possible. If that is the case. If that is not the case, then we are making a bigger corrective structure here and we'll come back down. So which one? The question you're always going to ask yourself, which one is it doing? Here's the thing. We don't need to know that until we break out of the top. Right? When it breaks the top, then we'll have confirmation which one it's doing. But for now, if you get a flag here again, buy. Don't try to sell it until they break this structure. Right? Until they break out of this, which means they'll have to break out, pull back, and then we'll sell. For now, you wait for flags and you buy. It could do either because it is in a correction. Corrective structures are complex. They tend to change patterns from what you think they're doing right now. So you think you're getting a 1, 2, 3, and instead you get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? It could change. It could, even within a single impulse, could be more complex. I'm not even talking about a correction within a correction, how complex that could be. Right? So it's not that easy and straightforward as you would think when you're in a correction. So right now, just treat this here as an up move, wait for a pullback, buy. UK oil will give you pretty much the same thing, so we don't need to look at it. Let's look at natural gas. A lot of you trade it. Still in this corrective structure here. You see they're still within this move. If you get a flag here, sell. And likelihood they'll break out of the pattern. Right? So if you get a flag, they'll make a flag right now where they are. They broke the top, starts to pull back, make a nice hourly flag here for you. See? They make a nice one here. Take this trade down. Something like this, actually. You'll see this part here. This was it, right? Take that trade down if you get it. You don't have a buy setup here. Don't try to buy it at this level, right? What else we look at? Natural gas, S&P 500. We'll do S&P 500, we'll do DAX, and we'll do Nifty. And then we'll stop the recording and do some more, right? So S&P 500 crawled up a little more. Let's put it in the daily so you can see. This is where you are on the daily structure. You're somewhere at the top of the structure. And every time they get to the top of the structure, they pull back. They get to the top, they pull back. They get to the top, and they're crawling at the top there. They will pull back. So do you have a buy setup right where it is right now? I would not buy it there. Because if you look at this piece, you can see the very similar kind of move here. Right? They're making a very similar kind of move at the top there. They just, fluctuate to the top and then drop. So if I were trading this, which I'm not trading because my account doesn't trade this, you can look for the downside. Short term, you may get a move to the top. Very short term trade to the upside. Any trade to the upside now is going to be short term. The longer trade in this would be to the downside. I'm not even considering the fact that we are at a monthly top, right? So short term, if you want to trade short term, you might get a short trade here. One more spike up. But that is when I'll start to look for the sell setup coming, right? Because we have a lot of divergence in the chart telling you that it's not going up very much, right? Let's look at DAX. Oh, what was the Ether? Good. Did break to the upside. This one we actually forecast very nicely. Remember this? We said this is a corrective structure. So if you get some correction here, buy it. You should be in the buy in this already because this one we forecast since the week before for the up move because this was a correction. Once we saw the correction, we realized it's going to go up. So I think they will break the top. So you can look for one more, and that might be the turning point. Right? Once they break the top, that might be the turning point. So you have a buy setup coming. You can buy it short term, break the top, take profit, or move stops. Move stops very tight. So if they, if they keep going a little more, you will get the little more. But at some point they will start a big fall, and a big fall could come. Right? So keep your eyes on that. Okay, copper. Copper is a sell, by the way. Anybody took the sell? Remember I said watch a copper for a sell setup now? It was at the top and it started to fall. That was your sell setup there. Anybody got in the sell? Some of our traders are in this one. Right? Remember that sell setup at the top there? Some of our traders are in. If this makes a pullback, sell it. It could make a pullback, sell. Copper is a sell. Copper is a nice sell, actually. And we want what? Nifty. Nifty, we were looking for a sell setup because it started to consolidate. I remember in our group we saw that it broke out to the upside, which was not a buy I think you wanted to take. Let me go if I can find it. They broke the consolidation to the upside, which is not a great idea to buy it because they may not go very far. Just to show you what the whole chart looks like. This is what it looks like here. And this is what it's doing at the top there, right? So this very strong drop, and you notice what they're doing here. They're going to break the top, but look for this trade. It's not going very impulsive now to the upside. These were sharp moves. These were sharp, impulsive moves. They would make a pullback and go, make a pullback and go, make a pullback and go. This one made a lot of consolidation here. It's going, but it's not going as sharp and as fast as the previous moves because it's consolidating more. And when they start to do that, what you know for sure is that they're going to turn very soon, right? That at some point, this thing might break the top here. And then you can start to look for the downside. So if you're in the buy, if you took the buy for, reasons by buying a flag or something, you got to be careful here now because at some point, this thing might just make one more up here and then start to come down. Nifty is at a very, very high level. It actually reached the monthly forecast level that we did. I did a monthly forecast to hit the 270. They were almost there. Let's put it in monthly chart. I think wasn't the monthly. Or was it on the daily? And I think we made actually on this one, yeah. This was the forecast. That this is going to come up there. Well, I think we actually reached that level, if not higher. Come on. We're tagging that 270 already, which means you start looking for some downside. There, right? Nice move. Actually following. It was pretty easy to see, right? Remember what I said, everybody? Remember what I said? If the euro yen make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like this, look for downside. So it's almost at the top. Now, can they go up some more? Can they break that trend line? Very likely they can go up and break that trend line. We're not expecting them to go very far, right? The upper trend line has little to do with it. So what you're going to watch is that you're already seeing that the top of this is already getting very, very weak, which means they probably go a little more, and then you should be prepared for a big down move that might come, right? Just be prepared that it's coming. Okay, I think we complete that. Let me see what else you guys want the Ripple one. It's coming down. It's nice time to buy it, right? Actually, what is the code X? Okay, if I can. Which one is? I think this one, right? That's the Ripple one. XBT. Yep. No, not this one. What is the code? XRP, right? XRP. Let me get that one correct. Where is it? Oh, this one. Got it. Coming back. Anybody managed to buy back at the bottom here? If you didn't buy there, you'll get a chance to buy here. So they made the bigger correction. There's a good chance they may want to go test the low. Right here, let me just put this back in the bigger picture so you can see it. There's a very good chance that this might come test this low. That would be around 12 or so. That is your buy point. If that thing gets there, you buy. Even if you have to buy some here before they drop. Watch, if they start to break this here, I'll actually pull a structure like this. I'll wait for them to break here and then start buying around here for the next spike up. Or better yet, I think they will drop here. Breaking this low. Let me put a line in the low so you'll know where you start buying. Right here. Once they hit that 12 area, start buying. As soon as they tag the low, you can put entry orders there to buy basically. Right? So once they hit that area, you can actually start buying. You will be in profit. Even if it goes lower, don't worry about that. Because the next one is going to be a big spike to the upside. So they may stay there for a while or so, but you can actually keep it. Right? Let's see. What else you guys want? We're getting so much requests. Okay, I don't think we can fulfill all of those requests. XDG, the yen we did again. We don't repeat. The yen and CAD we did already. ZAR and we don't have, I don't think I have the NASDAQ on. So let's go. We have the ZAR on. Let's just do that and we're right next to it. Let's see, come on. Okay. They're going back up, so wait for a flag here. An upside. They actually broke this nice to the upside, completing this one. You're going to go back up to retest this top and most likely retest that top because this was your sharp impulse, right? This was more like a correction. This could come back to this level. When it gets to this level, when they break this top, if you're going to trade it, watch this top here. When they break that up, you want profit. You want to take profit because if this becomes a complex B wave, you're going to get one more attempt at the low before you go. Right? So when they break that up, trade it to the top. And when they break the top, move your stops into profit deep, right? Very tight because when they break that up, they could go back down. Right? They just completed a 3-wave here, but this is a sharp impulse. 1, 2, 3. Make a sharp impulse here. That could still be a B wave within a bigger structure for more downside. Right? So when they get there, take profit. Okay, what else? Euro yen. The Ethereum. Ethereum, I think, is in this big sideways move, so we can do that for you guys. A lot of you trade that. That'll be. Put it in the 4-hour. pretty much doing what we expect it to do. So you can expect this. It might go up here some more, but they would likely come tag this. You got to move there or move there, and there's a likely move coming here. But short term, there's a buy setup. If you look at it in the short term here, on the 1 hour. On the 1 hour, there's a buy setup here. See this? If they make a flag, then you get a buy setup. That will be short term, take profit. It's not going to go break the top. Well, unlikely that it's going to go break the top because it's more like a pullback like this. Make a deeper pullback like this. So you'll probably get a deeper pullback here, and then you get downside. So once it comes into this area here, watch it in the 4 hour. If you just want to buy it, let's say you just want to be a buyer all the time, take this buy and put it to break even. And then if they come back down, if you take this here and you get it, it comes here, you put it to break even, they come back down here, you buy again from there going up. Once they break this low, they're going to make one more impulse up, right? Okay, most of those we finished, the Euro, the Euro, Yen, all of those we finish. So we'll just repeat ourselves and we'll go into too much charts. I want to first of all thank all of you for coming on such short notice. It's recorded, I'll put it out, and I think it's already on YouTube Live. So that live will remain there on YouTube, right? It's recorded there, so you'll probably get it. You can watch it again. Thank you all for coming. Thanks for sharing the link. And for those of you who are interested in the course, I forget to mention that, right? Most of you paid already or so. I would confirm with you sometime this week. I'm waiting for the bank to connect me to the internet banking, which they should do tomorrow. All would be good, don't worry. Those of you who haven't, well, you've got the information to pay it. If you're interested in the course, but you haven't got the information to pay it, please send me a notice. I may have missed you accidentally. I will give you the information, right? But most people have paid already. So we're starting on the 26th, the 25th, I'll do the introduction. That's the Monday. So you'll be in the group already by then. Don't worry. All of you will be in there. So I'll see all of you. And welcome to all of you who paid already to the group. You will be in the group very soon, right? Thanks for coming for the short notice. Tomorrow I'll be very busy, but I'll try to see maybe during the week I'll do another one. Take care, everybody, right? Have a successful week and see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.